All right, here we go. We're going to do it. We are going to do it. You guys might have recently noticed that Pitchfork surprisingly has embraced the album bracket aesthetic, and in celebration of, I suppose, turning 30, have put out this bracket of albums. It looks like a bunch of records. I mean, Daft Punk got a pretty negative review back in the day, but like a bunch of like album of the year albums that they've had over the years and that sort of thing. I'm also going to be doing polls so that you guys can sort of like help decide which album is moving forward in which section of the bracket. I think I'm going to mostly let it be sort of like democratic. If things are super in the middle, I'll be the tiebreaker, and I will, and chat, please remind me of this. You can count them as we go along. I will reserve for myself 3 veto spots, okay? I only get 3. I can use them anywhere except for maybe the last one. Because, I mean, if you guys want to really decide the last one, you can. I will sort of like advocate for the records that I feel strongest about, and you guys are free to sort of hash it out in chat over, which one that you want to go with and which one you support and prefer in each head-to-head. First head-to-head is going to be Frank Ocean and The Knife's Silent Shout. I know what record out of those two that I prefer to listen to. I think I mess with The Knife's Silent Shout a little bit more, but Blonde is undeniably a modern classic, and Frankfurt has won. I thought that would be the case. And again, it's not how I would pick it, but it's not a win that I'm upset about. I don't see the need to sort of like jump in here and be like, no, I disagree with this one. No way am I letting this happen. So it's totally fine. Next we have Solange and Person Pitch. Solange versus Panda Bear. I mean, I know there's disagreements on this, but this is like not even my favorite of Solange's. I feel like her other record is a bit stronger in my opinion. But with that being said, I'm not as I've said before, like I'm not big on Panda Bear solo stuff. Like his latest record is my favorite of his catalog. So I probably would just go with Solange here, personally. It looks pretty handily like it's going to Solange. Solange beat out Person Pitch. Shout out Solange. Okay, interesting head-to-head here. I think you guys will probably swing Kanye, but who knows? Things could go in a totally different direction, I suppose. We have Kanye versus Arcade Fire's debut record, and it's My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Of course. Obviously you guys know I was never really crazy about Twisted Fantasy out of the gate, but also Arcade Fire's debut is one that is still solid, but to me in recent years, it just doesn't hold up that well. Like I don't find myself going back to the record a whole lot. If anything, the Arcade Fire album that I still enjoy at this point is probably The Suburbs. Twisted Fantasy wins! Ah! 1 for Sufjan. 2 for Fleet Foxes. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. The Fleet Foxes debut was a very solid record. In my opinion, not as good as Helplessness Blues, but like a very solid record. But does it stand up to Illinois? Illinois is a brutal contender. Like I could see that album going to the last end of this bracket. Interesting head-to-head. We have like 2 big sort of like Pitchfork darling albums. We're going to do 1 for Interpol, 2 for AnCo. Both are very good records. One is an amazing neo-psych album with lots of great poppy anthemic tunes, maybe a little less experimental than some of Animal Collective's, deeper cuts and fan favorites, but still a great album nonetheless. The other is a post-punk revival classic, one of the best, kind of like New York indie era albums with a very solid track list on it. One of the most solid track lists to come out of New York around that time. It's very tight. I thought it would be. They're both very great records that have aged very well. Damn. Interpol wins. Interpol wins that one. And, again, I could jump in and veto it. It is kind of close, but I honestly could kind of go either way between these 2 records. I feel like it's fine. Cindy Lee versus Daft Punk. Is that what that is? Yeah, it is. That's brutal. Okay. Are we seriously doing Cindy Lee versus poor Cindy Lee? I mean, it's Diamond Jubilee is a great record. I mean, I do agree. I do think Discovery is genuinely the better album, as ambitious as Diamond Jubilee is. So Discovery is definitely more the well-groomed, conceptual, cinematic game changer. And then we have Kid A versus The Rapture, which is also a pretty brutal head-to-head. I don't think that Rapture record has aged the best, though I do like James Murphy's production on it. I just think there are better dance punk kind of albums from that era. I'm just going to finish it now. I do not think The Rapture is coming back from that. I apologize. As you guys know, I'm not the biggest Damn fan. I prefer to listen to NFR over Damn. Again, NFR is my preference, but maybe there's more Damn fans in chat. Yeah, I'm feeling like, I still feel like about a 6 or a 7 on it, honestly. It's just not really a great record to me. Been a minute. It's going to go to NFR. Okay, Damn. Oh, I mean NFR. Lana, NFR. Maybe there'd be a bit more pressure there if this was the only Kendrick album in the bracket, but it's very much not. So poll has started. 1 is Solange, 2 is Frank. Yeah, seems like chat is being pretty frank right now. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is 1. Illinois is 2. I thought My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy would put up a little bit more of a fight. Are you kidding me? It's clearly Sufjan. Sufjan is him, apparently. Sufjan is him advancing. Interpol 1, Daft Punk 2, poll starting now. Discovery, in my opinion, better production, more variety, cooler and more interesting concepts. I think it's definitely the record. And chat agrees with me pretty much and is going even harder for this than they did Sufjan in the previous poll. So I think, again, next 5 seconds, if it doesn't change, I think we're going to show some mercy on Interpol and just stop it. We're going Lana Del Rey, Radiohead, head to head. I think you guys are probably going to go Kid A, but yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think it's changing. I'm sorry, Lana. I'm sorry, Lana Banana. I don't know. Could go either way in terms of what I think chat's going to do. I would rather listen to Sufjan, but 2 massive records here. It's going to go to Sufjan. Wow. It's Illinois time, baby. We're coming on and we're feeling the Illinois. This one's got to be tight, right? This has got to be tight. I can't anticipate anybody's going to run away with this. Oh yeah, that's right. OK Computer is on the other side of the bracket too. So this is not even the only Radiohead submission. So there's also that to keep in mind. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a little bit more of a Discovery boy. Discovery or Illinois, which is your preference? I might be a little bit more of an Illinois boy, but it's not by much. It's tight. The Sufjan fans are like, yo, what the fuck? We can't just let this go. Even if you lose, don't lose like, it shouldn't be a 70-30 loss. Come on. I mean, these are 2 incredible albums. All right, well, it looks like Daft Punk is taking it. Looks like Discovery is taking it. An album that at one point was completely fucking panned by Pitchfork with a 6. Is now winning the whole left side of their 30 albums bracket. Okay, that's Fiona Apple versus Los Thuthanuka. Can somebody in chat remind me how to pronounce that record? I personally have not really gotten that into the album myself, though I do appreciate how sort of like experimental it is and sort of unique it is on sort of like the underground Latin scene. Recent Pitchfork album of the year versus most recent Pitchfork 10 out of 10 because they slapped that Fiona with a 10. Oh, okay. That's very much solidly fetch the bolt cutters going to Fiona, it seems. And who's coming up next? That's Mitski versus the Bon Iver. I don't really have super strong feelings on either album personally. I think I would go more toward the Mitski, but I know there's a lot of Bon Iver fans in my audience, and this album has really held up for some people. I even saw somebody the other day talking about how they personally feel like 22 A Million is a 10 out of 10 album. I mean, I highly disagree, but you know, it's interesting. There's still a lot of albums in Mr. Vernon's catalog that a lot of people just go crazy for. Guys, a whole lot of Red versus Good Kid, Mad City. Do we even need to poll it? Do we even need to poll it? And, you know, it's not that a whole lot of Red doesn't have its moments, but it's Good Kid, Mad City. Like, it's still on the charts, like on and off to this day for a reason. It's an amazing record. It's a classic record. It's one of the best concept and story albums of the modern era. I know there's definitely some guys who ride for Opium and ride for Cardi and ride for the underground every single time we do a New Music Friday stream. They are very loud and represented contingent, but it seems like it's going to Good Kid, Mad City. If you're out here as a Cardi fan, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying Cardi's music, but if you're sitting there and genuinely thinking like, what's so good about Good Kid, Mad City? You're the one who's fucking clueless, dog. You're the one who's not in the know. All right, we have Run the Jewels debut versus OK Computer, which is a bit of a brutal head-to-head, honestly. It's going pretty solidly to Radiohead, so I do think there may be some people in chat who ride for Vampire Weekend more than SZA, though. That's not my favorite Vampire Weekend record, Modern Vampires. And there's a lot of SZA fans, or just, fans of pop and R&B that prefer Control way more over SOS, which is, also understandable. For this head-to-head, I prefer SZA, but I could see it going different ways. It's getting tighter, but it seems like it's going to go to Vampire Weekend. I'm about to end. I've ended it. It ended on a 50-50. It legit ended on a 50-50. I mean, I said I would be a tiebreaker, so honestly, I'm going SZA SOS. Sorry to Vampire Weekend. The new record is great. I would probably listen to the new record over SOS, but not Modern Vampires. The microphones are coming up in this next one, and that kind of washes both of them. Actually, in fact, this next head-to-head is pretty brutal because we have the Glow Part 2 versus Hotels. Yeah, it seems like it's going the microphones way. And again, it is one of my favorite albums of all time. I would put it over even some of the biggest records on the left side. Also, next one is that's TPAB versus Dismemberment Plan. Someone was asking what my favorite tracks on Discovery are, and it's got to be either probably Something About Us, Harder Better. Those are kind of like my two favorites. I love the lyrics on Something About Us. It's just a beautiful song. Beyonce 1, OutKast 2. As good as Renaissance, it is Aquemini. It is Aquemini. It is an amazing album, though. You can't take it away from it. I don't even feel like Beyonce could hate. Could she? I don't know. I prefer Fiona here. Again, that self-titled Bon Iver doesn't really rank for me all that much. And, even in my view, an okay album from Fiona is still a very good album, regardless of how many morons want to pretend like I hate that record and I can't stand it or whatever. Seems like Fiona's going to win this one. Starting the poll. 1 for Good Kid, Mad City. 2 for OK Computer. OK Computer has a lot of cultural heft behind it, but so does Good Kid, Mad City. And I mean, not that OK Computer tells, a literal story in the way that Good Kid, Mad City does, but you really have to appreciate that Good Kid, Mad City pulls that off and does it so incredibly well. Okay. Wow. It's going to OK Computer. I appreciate that it's tight though. All right. I'm going to leave it there. It's going to OK Computer. This is one where I disagree a little bit. Honestly, I feel like in recent years, I've spent more time listening to Good Kid than OK Computer. But with that being said, TPAB's also in the running still. So I'm like not really sweating too much, kind of like losing out on a Kendrick album. So I'm not going to jump in. There were some people that didn't care for the SZA over the Vampire Weekend, so I have a feeling it's going to go to microphones. SZA is 1, microphones is 2. I'll let it run for like 10 more seconds. I mean, maybe the SZA fans are pouring in. I'll give the SZA fans a few more seconds to get up off the mat. Too Slimy would sweep everything. Oh yeah, no, for sure. If we did a Too Slimy one. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Are the SZA fans beating the shit out of the Microphones album? I'm calling it. Holy shit. Maybe people just haven't heard the Microphones. Again, it's an album that I don't think is going to appeal to everybody. It's a very noisy, experimental, lo-fi singer-songwriter record, but like, damn. Recency bias? I don't know. It could also just be like a case of like the album having way more exposure too, Veto. Veto for sure. I haven't used my veto power yet. Like, should I use my veto power now? I've been holding off this entire time. I've been a good boy. I'm going to veto it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to veto it. I'm gonna veto it. Here's my reason as to why. Here's my reason as to why I'm gonna veto it. I feel like whether it's Outkast or whether it's Kendrick, you guys are going to fucking go with one of those against SZA. I know that for a fact. There's no fucking way you guys are picking either of those or are picking SZA over those. There's just no way. So I've used my veto power one time, and it looks like I'm only probably going to use it one time. So 1 for TPAB, 2 for Aquemini. Which one is it going to be? 2 incredible records. TPAB is a 10 out of 10 in my eyes. Aquemini may not be my favorite Outkast album. I feel like that's more Stankonia, but it's still an amazing, mind-blowing record that I still love to death. Like if it's, if Stankonia is a preference for me, it's not by that much. It's like still an amazing record. It seems pretty solidly it's going to TPAB. Is that not recency bias? Could be. I don't know. I mean, I know I give TPAB a 10. I know there's a lot of people out there who don't, but I mean, the record has been sort of really accruing classic status as of late. And, is like the #1 album on Rate Your Music these days. We have Fetch the Bolt Cutters versus OK Computadora. It seems you guys are just as terrible and awful and sexist as me. How dare you? You hate women. I don't know what else to say. I'm disappointed in you. But you are a woman. Well, I'll let it slip this time then. I'm starting the poll. 1 for microphones, 2 for TPAB. They're both 10 out of 10 records for me. I feel like I might be a little bit more microphones. Seems like chat's going TPAB though. Not totally surprised. It is still an incredible album. And, again, I don't really regret my veto. I don't think SZA would have put up this much of a fight between, but it would probably be a 20-80 split, honestly. 1 is going to be OK Computer. 2 is going to be TPAB. Again, I think I ride more for Kendrick in this head to head. Let's look at more 60-30. That's kind of crazy. And it's going toward TPAB. Are the OK Computer fans going to get up? Are they going to get off the computer and get into the chat? Seems they're not. They're just on the computer. They're on Hub. Congratulations, chat. You have made it to the end of the bracket. It's Daft Punk, Come On. Like, okay, they're both 10 out of 10s, but like, Jesus Christ, don't act like TPAB doesn't put up a fight. Like, God. And again, like I said, I have veto power. I've had veto power, but I'm not able to use veto power for the last one. It's going to be on chat. But if it does come to a 50-50, I can jump in and decide. So if it comes to a 50-50, I could do it. I'm not even going to try to say a preference before I let this run. I'm just going to do it. There you go. Boom. 1 is TPAB. 2 is Discovery. And I'm not avoiding saying a preference merely because I have one. It is a difficult choice. I don't envy you guys. Ooh, it's tight. 40, 60, 50, 40. We're going back and forth. It's time to vote now. If you have not voted yet and you have an opinion, there we go. 50 votes. I don't think we've had more votes than that so far. And again, it's very tight. I'm going to let it run for like 5 more seconds. Oh my God, no, please do not let this be a fucking 50-50. If you're fucking insane, you're insane. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm ending the poll. Oh, fuck. With 52%, TPAB wins the fucking bracket. Oh my God. With a few seconds where it was like 50-50, legitimately 50-50. You could say recency bias, but I feel like Discovery is a record a lot of people still listen to. It's not like this relic of an album that we just like have weird old smudgy memories of. Like, people still listen to Discovery today. That is still an album people are still spinning and enjoying. Chat kept dissing the hip hop matchups. I'm so glad this happened. I listen to Discovery all the time. Yeah, no, a lot of people do. But there you go, everybody. That is it. Are there any final thoughts on TPAB winning? Are we happy? Are we pissed off? Is this album legitimately a great record that deserved the last spot, or did it merely get #1? Did it merely win because it's just the most agreeable among all of us? What other albums get the same praise over the years? No, for sure. Like over the past 15 years, like what record has not only continually maintained the critical praise that TPAB has gotten, but honestly, what album has sort of like increased its critical praise since that time period. I feel like more people appreciate TPAB now than they did when it originally came out. I feel like there were some critics who were like afraid to go full in on it. And there were some rap fans that were scratching their heads in response to it. And for years afterwards, I just remember seeing so many terrible takes on Twitter. And this is when, I'll say comparatively, Twitter was more bearable of an experience than it is now. Like, Twitter is an absolute, like, an unredeemable and irredeemable shithole right now. But even, you know, like 2018, 2019, you saw so many takes, especially like in the wake of Damn, where people were just kind of talking about how boring this album was and how it's like Kendrick's most boring album. And there's like no point to this record. And it's just like so underwhelming. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys very much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, over here next to my head somewhere, another video you could check out. And I'll see you guys in the next one.